Good afternoon, Rich Nass, Executive Vice President with Open Systems Media and leader of the Embedded Computing Design Team, where we talk about anything and everything that's of interest to an embedded engineer, designer, programmer, whatever you want to call them. I'm here for this week's Embedded Executive Podcast, and this week my embedded executive is Shivaram Trikudam, who is the Vice President of Wi-Fi Products for Infineon. How you doing, Shivaram?
I'm doing good, Rich. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So you are the Vice President of Wi-Fi Products. That is pretty all-encompassing. That's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, we make many types of Wi-Fi products, Wi-Fi Bluetooth combos, Wi-Fi Bluetooth microcontrollers. So it's a very rich area, and I'm happy to be a part of that at Infineon.
Excellent. So Wi-Fi to me is almost like a non-issue. Like it just works all the time, no matter where you are. At least it's supposed to. And it doesn't seem like there's been a whole lot of advances lately. I put my last router in maybe 3 years ago, and it works really well. And I don't see a need to change it. Are there new things going on in Wi-Fi that should say I should be upgrading my router?
Yeah, there's actually lots going on. So in a common day, like you just mentioned, right, we all use Wi-Fi on our laptops, on our smartphones, on our TVs to stream videos and so on and so forth. And most of these are basically living room experiences. You're within range of your living room usually. But a lot of the interesting stuff that's happening in Wi-Fi now is a whole bunch of home automation devices are getting connected over Wi-Fi to the internet. I mean, whether it's your door lock or your garage door opener or your sprinkler controller in your backyard, your baby monitor, or your washing machine that's sitting in the basement of your house, all kinds of devices, lighting and so on and so forth. These are getting connected. And typically these tend to be in odd locations, right? Like in a door lock, a door is where the door is. If your smartphone doesn't get good Wi-Fi connectivity, you usually move a little, to the side and you're fine, but you can't move a door. The door is where it is. So a lot of the stuff that's growing in Wi-Fi is to do with these home automation, smart home, intelligent devices that go into your house. And there you need a different kind of Wi-Fi, not the Wi-Fi that you would use in your laptop or your smartphone. And that's what we are working on, the industry is working on, and a lot of new developments happening in that area.
Now, I run a whole bunch of different networks in my house, and I would make the argument, and I'm going to argue with you anyway, because it's what I do, that LoRaWAN is better for some of the things that you cited. Like I have my garage door openers on a LoRaWAN network. I got some of my, the alarms on my doors run a LoRaWAN network because you just want to know on off. Why would Wi-Fi be better?
Well, the most popular technology for connecting things to the internet today is Wi-Fi. It's basically everywhere, right? The installed database is everywhere, unlike some of the other wireless technologies that are in some places, not in some other places, and so on. So the biggest advantage of Wi-Fi is that it's the same user experience practically everywhere. Whichever country you go to in the world, whether it's an airport or a stadium or a home or an office, it's exactly the same technology, the same user experience all over the world. There's no other wireless technology that comes even close to that in terms of its universality. And that's the biggest advantage of Wi-Fi or other technologies that you mentioned.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I was just in Taiwan, and in the airport, you connect to the Wi-Fi network, you're in the hotel room. And as I said when we started this, you don't really ever think about it. You just do it and it works. And I guess that's the beauty of Wi-Fi, that it just seems to work all the time.
Exactly. The beauty of it is its universality, and everyone knows how to do it, right? The user experience of you turn on Wi-Fi, you get a bunch of networks, you click on one saying, I want to use this one, it connects, and that's it. You don't have to do anything more than that. Now, when it comes to some of the smart home automation devices I was talking about earlier, the user experience is a little different there because you generally don't have a big GUI where people can select menus and so on. So you need other ways of accomplishing the same function. But in concept, it's the same. It's very easy. And that's one of the biggest advantages of Wi-Fi for the applications we talked about.
So we've written a lot about the Matter spec, and from our perspective, and actually from Infineon's perspective, we talked a lot about how it handles security. But from your perspective, from the pure, I want to be able to connect easily with all my devices. Where does Infineon sit with the Matter standard from that perspective?
So Matter is a very important enabler for the smart home ecosystem, right? I mean, security is one good aspect of it, but there's more to it than, I mean, it's an important aspect of Matter, but there's more to it than security, right? Now, one of the things that's going to help us get to a larger adoption rates in the home, right? I mean, and we are talking about more than 50 connected devices per home in the next few years. One of the ways that's going to happen if we make it easy for the users to use these devices. Now, let's say I want to buy a camera for my backyard. I want to buy a doorbell camera for my front door and a smoke detector. And I like the specs of them, and I like to buy one from manufacturer A and another one from a supplier B and so on. But I want to make all these work seamlessly together. Like for instance, I might onboard one because I use Alexa smart speaker. I want to onboard it on Alexa, but I also use some Google devices in my house, and I might use an Apple device or a Samsung device, and I want to make all these work seamlessly together. Matter is the only way to make that happen, because Matter is basically a protocol that's one level above the network layer protocol, and it gives a seamless user experience for devices to interconnect and interoperate. In the process, it also makes it easy by having a standardized way to onboard devices, and it has a standard security method, because all these devices are all over our house now, right? In our bedrooms, in our living rooms, and they need to be of a certain security level, and Matter makes it consistent across all these device types.
So I'm probably not your typical user. I got a ton of devices hanging off my network. We got TVs all over the place, bunch of computers, the Echo devices that you just referenced. I got all kinds of stuff, but everything works. And like I said, my router is 3 years old. What would be the benefit to me to upgrade?
So now maybe, I mean, it again depends on your house. There are various aspects to it. Like let's say if you installed a washing machine in your basement. Now I don't know where you live, Rich. If you're on the West Coast, it's not very common to have basements, but if you're on the East Coast, it's very common to have like a washer in the basement, right? And you'd be surprised how many cases where it doesn't actually even make a basic connection in some houses. So you would need to upgrade not just the router, but also buy the latest Wi-Fi in your appliances so they're able to connect reliably. The most irritating thing is this, right? I mean, these kinds of devices, you hook them up onto Wi-Fi because you want to use them remotely. It's not like you're going to use them all the time. You use them maybe once or twice in a day, or sometimes maybe just once or twice in a week when you need the convenience of accessing a device remotely. And just that time when you want to use it, imagine it's not connected and you have to go power off the device, reboot it, or whatever you have to do. It's a significant impact to the user experience. So that's the reason primarily why I need to upgrade. And the second point I'll quickly make is power consumption. There are a lot of these devices these days, like cameras, right, which you might want to put on your external wall and so on, which are battery operated. And you need, yeah, and it's a pain walking up, bringing the camera down, charging it with your USB cable, and then putting it back again. So you want to do it as rarely as possible. I mean, I'd like to do it once in 6 months if possible. So the new Wi-Fi technologies also have features which allow you to sleep for longer durations and thereby prolong or extend the battery life of these kinds of devices that I just mentioned.
What you're talking about right now, to me, is huge. Can you quantify the difference in power from a couple of years ago to where we are today?
Oh, you could, I mean, there are some use cases, like for instance, to continue with the example of the camera, I mean, use case in your backyard, you could sleep. I mean, if you open up your phone app and say, I want to see my backyard, you could wait 5 seconds to see it's not going to hurt you if you don't see the video in 5 seconds. That allows you the ability to sleep longer. So if you use the complete extent of the standard, you could get anywhere from 5 to 10 times better battery life using the latest Wi-Fi technologies as opposed to what you would use 3 to 4 years ago.
Okay. In terms of the standard itself, where are we today? What's the current state of the art?
The current state of the art is Wi-Fi 7, which got ratified last year.
Is that in shipping products now?
Yes, it is in shipping products. I mean, a lot of the, I mean, well, I shouldn't say a lot, but the leading access points and routers in the market today are Wi-Fi 7. And it's growing, right? It's growing every year. So it's we predict that in about 3 years from now, Wi-Fi 7 will be the mainstream Wi-Fi technology that's shipping. It's still Wi-Fi 6 today, and Wi-Fi 7 has just started shipping in volumes.
Does it say it on the box? Does the consumer know when he's buying Wi-Fi 7?
Yes, I mean most of them that I've, I mean, at least the certification does say Wi-Fi 7. So at least a lot of the new ones I've seen when I go to an electronic shop do advertise on the box that it's Wi-Fi 7. So it's easy for consumers to pick out the ones with the latest Wi-Fi technology.
And I shouldn't be concerned that I have to wait for Wi-Fi 8?
No, that's 2028, right? So you know how it is with high tech. I mean, everything gets obsolete at some point, but right
Yeah.
now Wi-Fi 7 is the latest technology, and Wi-Fi 8 is at least 4 years away. So if you're in the market for something new, I'd suggest that you buy Wi-Fi 6 or 7 and nothing older than that.
Okay, that sounds great. And where is Infineon in this?
Um, I mean, the products, okay, there's other aspects here, right? There's the Wi-Fi 7 is essentially primarily for very high-end devices, AR, VR, media kind of devices. But for IoT kind of device, the kind of products I was talking about earlier, Wi-Fi 6 is a great technology for that. That's what is just ramping in that area. And we are working in that area. In fact, I mean, the product that we just announced today is basically a Wi-Fi 6 6E. I mean, 6E is basically an extension of Wi-Fi 6. It operates in the newly opened 6 gigahertz spectrum, which is open in now more than 40 countries in the world. So that's the latest technology for the IoT world, right? Wi-Fi 6 and 6E. And we're also, I mean, naturally working on Wi-Fi 7 for future products.
So if I buy a new router, do you promise me it'll be completely backward compatible and all my devices will connect?
Absolutely. That's the promise of Wi-Fi. It's backwards compatible all the way to Wi-Fi 1.
All right, I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah, you should try that.
Thank you very much, Shivaram. That was this is interesting stuff, and this is important to so many people in so many areas.
Yeah, it is, and Wi-Fi, particularly in the smart home context, I think has the ability to be transformative. The convenience that it can bring to all these home automation devices, and we at Infineon are fully committed to this space, right? So, like the product we announced today, which is Wi-Fi 6 and 6E with Bluetooth microcontrollers, makes it easy, right, for manufacturers to build products with this. And what we are excited about is not these mainstream products that everybody uses today, right? It's these innovative new products, the baby monitors, the backyard sprinkler monitors, or robotic vacuum cleaners, which are Wi-Fi connected, all the new stuff. And we've made all these general purpose products with a lot of capabilities, and we are excited to see what our customers come up with. What are the new products they come up with I mean, with the semiconductors that we build.
I agree completely. I love this new technology. So that was Shivaram Thrikutam. He is the Vice President of Wi-Fi Products for Infineon, and I am Rich Nass with Open Systems Media.